This milk and magnesia was giving her the farts. It was so bad. We would say, Laura, leave the gazebo if you're going to fart. She had to fart so bad, and it was messing her up, obviously, because when she would walk out of the gazebo to go fart, every step she'd take, she just fart, let out a little bit more gas every step she took. Welcome back to another episode of Life, Recovery, and the Pursuit of Sanity. My name is Josh Logan. Thank you for making the decision to watch my videos. Today, I want to do something a little different and tell a story from my past, a story when I was in the Mount Pleasant 28-day dual diagnosis treatment program. This was back in, oh my goodness, this is back in 2000. Can you believe that? That's a long freaking time ago. Back in 2000, and I don't know too many, I don't think this treatment center is still going, but when I was in there, it was part of the prison system, the Mount Pleasant Correctional Facility, a medium security prison. We were on the second floor, I believe, second or third floor. We weren't at the very top, but we weren't at the very bottom. And it was a lockdown unit. So we were separated from the women's part, but it was all part of the when we ate food, we went down into the basement, and that is exactly where the women ate food. And so the food is actually prepared by inmates. We were actually eating prison food. So needless to say, this food clogged us up. Every single person. And in order for them to help us through that, they would give us milk of magnesia. Every hour we would get a break so we could go outside and we could smoke our cigarettes, and then we'd come back in for another group. And I think we got milk of magnesia maybe 3 times a day. And dual diagnosis, just in case, for those that don't know, dual diagnosis is treatment for people that are on medication, people that have depression and the such. People in a normal treatment facility are not allowed to have medications of any kind. We would go out into this gazebo, and that's where we would smoke. There's this lady. We're going to call her Laura. Not her real name, but for sake of confidentiality, her name's going to be Laura for the duration of this video. So we're outside smoking, and this chick, this milk and magnesia was giving her the farts. It was so bad. We would say, Laura, leave the gazebo if you're going to fart. She had to fart so bad, and it was messing her up, obviously, because when she would walk out of the gazebo to go fart, every step she'd take, she just fart, let out a little bit more gas every step she took. It was freaking funny. Mind you, I'm 20 years old, and this crap was hilarious. I just had a ball. This chick. So a little backstory on this chick, Laura. She was probably the most annoying person I'd ever met in my life up until that point. She had been abused actually really, really bad. One of her husband had poked out her eye, like stabbed it out. So then she had a fake eye, and their next husband pulled that fake eye out and broke it. So by the time she got to treatment, she had an empty socket, and I've never seen anything like. I've never seen anything like it ever since either. So never seen anything like it before, never seen anything like it ever since. but just an empty socket. It was the craziest thing in the world. It's really hard to look at her and talk with her with a straight face. And I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but it was very weird. Anywho, so she's farting when she's leaving the gazebo. Well, one night, we're out there. So I need to backtrack a little bit. At 8 o'clock, our groups were all done. We had free time. But 8 o'clock, the doors would shut and they'd lock. So you couldn't get in or out of this building except with what they call a monitor, somebody that was just watching over us. So we went out for our 8 o'clock cigarette break. And we had 15 minutes to smoke our cigarettes, so plenty of time. So this is like 3 or 4 days after the mocha magnesia. We'd all been taking it. And obviously it was doing a number on her insides. To the point that we go out at the 8 o'clock. So mind you, the door's locked. You can't get back in unless the monitor lets you back in. So she leaves, farting the whole way, tells the monitor, I gotta really poop, I gotta really go. And he's like, sorry, we just got out here. I'm not, we're gonna all go in as one group. So she had to hold her poop for about 15 minutes. And she, it was like crazy to watch because she was like making a big deal. I'm not gonna be able to hold it. So 15 minutes go by, and I normally took the stairs, but there's an elevator, so she took the elevator. Well, during the time that she was in the elevator, well, she couldn't hold it any longer. So I'm walking up the stairs, get to the top of the stairs, and she goes running by, crap, running down her leg. Oh my gosh, it stunk, it was gross, and I kind of felt bad for her because it was actually pretty freaking funny. If you're in the middle of it, it's pretty freaking funny when somebody does something like that. It's not so much funny for the person that is having that happen to. I would be super embarrassed if I crap myself for 30 people to see and it was running down my leg and it stunk the whole place up. So why do I tell this story? Well, there are some pretty freaking funny things that have happened to me in the midst of treatment, in the midst of meetings, in the midst of just my recovery. And so I don't ever want to paint a picture. And my kids already know about this story, the Laura story. They always want me to tell this story because it's pretty freaking funny. You really got to admit it. I enjoy telling the story to them because they just die laughing every time they hear this story about Laura crapping herself. But I don't ever want to paint a picture that the fun times that I had in drug addiction, the fun times that I had in recovery, the fun times that I had and I actually had some fun in jail, in treatment, that it makes it seem like it's a good thing, a good time, because overall my experience in treatment, while it has been beneficial, pretty much sucked. I would never want to go back to jail. I would never want to go back to treatment. I would never want to go back to like a living situation where I'm with a bunch of other people, because they just drive me up the wall. That's really what it boils down to. I like to have my peace. I like to have my quiet. I like to have my space. I like to have time to do what I want to do, and I'm not governed by somebody. At this time you gotta go do this, and at this time you gotta go do that. So it's really nice having the freedom. But the Laura story always gets my kids rolling. They love that story, and they always like hearing about the empty socket too, because most people have never seen somebody that just had a hole in their eye. Most people try to patch that up, I think, if there's something that wrong. And no, she didn't have it patched up. It was just an empty socket, and she crapped herself, and it was freaking funny. So I appreciate you watching this video. Give it a thumbs up, a like, subscribe, share this video, share my other videos, go back and watch them, because there is life in recovery. There is life after being addicted. There is things that you can do to live a productive, fulfilling, joyous, and free life while not participating with drinking, smoking dope, drugs of any way, shape, or form. It's possible. I do it every single day, and I don't always do it the most gracefully. Sometimes I'm a prick, sometimes I'm hard to get along with, but ultimately I am a much better person now than I ever have been in the past. And some of you people know how I was. My mom, my brother, even my wife, my kids, people that were close to me when I was in my addiction. I was not a kind person. I was a jerk. So anyway, I appreciate you watching this video. Until next time, peace.